Alrighty, this is Scott with Dashing Nerds.
Peter Spacia over at rhymeswithasia.com.
Joe DeVader, a.k.a. The Debaga.
So, Microsoft's press conference has just finished. What did we think, boys?
That's a solid conference. I don't think you can knock too much off with that.
Mm-hmm.
They started nicely just delivering and pacing games, and I don't think it's been too often that at E3 you start with a hardware announcement, just to open.
The Xbox One Slim, the One S.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. They say starting at $299. I think they could have delved in a little bit more with it, but I think they hit all the right points with it being substantially smaller.
40% slimmer.
Way smaller.
40% smaller, yes.
Yeah, you look at the big brick, and we had an Xbox One downstairs we were watching. It's like, yeah, that's pretty slim to have the power brick inside.
The power supply, that will be so nice.
That's been a huge bugaboo for a lot of the, I know it's a weird word, but for all the Xbox consoles as of late, to have that big brick kind of tethered on the outside, it
takes up space.
Yeah.
Especially when you're putting it behind your TV and stuff, along with a bunch of other cords, it really gets in the way.
Yeah. I mean, new controller. I mean, I was very close to recently pulling the trigger on an Xbox One controller, like a wireless for the PC, but now they're saying that's going to be standalone in August when it launches, and it's like, well, I can wait a couple months. I mean, for those slight enhancements, and I think that would be a good idea.
What did you think of the Slim?
I don't know. I've never been an Xbox person. I've never owned any of the Xbox models. I mean, it looked good, and wow, they made that way smaller, because I'm pretty sure all of us said a collective whoa!
We did. An audible whoa.
But otherwise, I mean, it's a slim model. They've been doing, or console manufacturers have been doing it for years. Mm-hmm. To me, it was nothing super special.
Right.
So,
I think it's a smart thing to do for people to, if they wanted to get into it, maybe now is the right time. I mean, we can certainly talk about time with other hardware announcements, but to start to phase out the old VCR-looking brick, to start phasing that out. And you have the vertical stand option if you want to do the $20 attachment.
And what will be nice for people is that for the first adopters that are trying to get into the Xbox One library and things like that, they do give them the options. You have the 500 gigabyte $299 one that they showed. You have the 1 terabyte for $349, and then the special collector's edition limited release of the 2 terabyte for $399. So
that's pretty solid if you think about it. Plus, you have the 4K output. If those people do have 4K TVs, you get that right out of the gate and not have to worry about a next step upgrade. It's a smart move.
Right. From the Xbox One Slim, they went directly into more Gears of War 4 gameplay. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. It's Gears of War. A lot to be... If you played a previous Gears of War, I think you know exactly what you're getting.
Sure. That was the most scripted live demo I've ever seen, though. Going up to push that tractor thing and not getting shot once.
With the turret.
Oh, yeah, just way out in the open. I liked the idea of, the buzzsaw shooting gun.
The buzzsaw gun
seemed to react well with the physics, bouncing off of things, bouncing back at you. That seemed to work very nicely. The one thing I didn't care too much about the Gears of War 4 announcement was the little things that they kept adding after the fact. I mean, sure, to see Marcus Phoenix older, that's a nice touch, but then they're just adding little things, especially with the Elite controller that's Gears of War themed.
Right, they're doing their special Elite controller.
It just felt like adding a couple more things after the fact, and it's
that was a silly little ad.
Just conclude it. Yeah, so
and they did announce that it's going to be cross play on the PC and the system with their Horde mode and their co-op campaign, so that'll be cool.
It's the whole initiative. That's probably the biggest takeaway. The Xbox Play Anywhere, which
that should have been a thing a long time ago. Wow.
It should have, and it's making me wonder how relevant the Xbox One system will be when really they are turning it into a PC, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But
the idea of the Xbox One exclusive is going away.
The Xbox One has gone through such a huge change in just what they're touting it as. Originally, it was this media center that everything's connected to, and now it's going so far from that. I mean, the new Slim doesn't have a Kinect port, the dedicated Kinect port or anything for it.
Yeah.
And everything else, the games also will run on Windows 10, so it's...
Sure.
Why... It'll be interesting to see how they keep the home console portion relevant.
Well, I think that won't be that hard because it'll still be the whole idea of consoles being I can buy this box and the games I buy will work. Whereas if I want to play it on PC, you got to keep upgrading all your parts and everything like that. So I think they'll be able to keep it relevant.
I think it was the smart thing that Microsoft did this conference was it could have gone badly with the messaging of, well, now that everything's on PC, why would you need an Xbox anymore? And they framed it as, well, you can stop
It's
your
a
play.
bonus.
It's a bonus. You can stop your play on the Xbox and then carry it over on your PC. I'm assuming laptop or maybe hardware in another room. But to frame it that way, I think that was smart and that was the right way.
And
to
they
approach
never
it.
addressed it that if you buy the PC version, you also get it on Xbox. It was always buy it on Xbox, you also get the PC version.
That's an interesting
Though
point.
I think it does work the other way around, but
Yeah.
they never said that.
Yeah, the Xbox / Windows Store is going to be the same thing. I mean, sure, if you get it through something like Steam, that may be an issue.
Or physical.
Or physical, yeah, that would also be a big issue. But if you're going digital, and especially with the upgrading the hardware and the hard drive sizes,
Right.
that would be a big issue. But yeah.
From there, they pretty much touted as one of the Gears of War bonuses. They did announce officially General Ram from Gears and Killer Instinct. That had been leaked. I mean, that was highly.
That's not a secret.
That wasn't
if,
secret.
If you're a fan of Killer Instinct, you've been keeping up with
I've
that
heard
news,
multiple people talking about it and how disappointed they are that that's the character they picked.
That's a weak trailer too. Killer Instinct has
It was
had
like
some really
15
good
seconds.
They've had some really good
If that.
trailers. I mean, Arbiter had a good trailer. I mean, when Rash was revealed, that's a good trailer. For that to be the reveal trailer for such a guest character, granted for a very annoying boss battle, but that was weak. I'll give it
And
that.
the whole comment of Killer Instinct's the most played fighting game on the Xbox One, and yeah, sure, that's true. Street Fighter's on
It's
PlayStation.
not true.
It's
Yeah.
not exactly, but really, guys, that's what you're gonna come out with.
It's like a politician. You're kind of stretching the truth a little bit, massaging it a bit.
Right.
Like, I
You're
love Killer
phrasing
Instinct,
it in a
but-
very specific way.
Well, there was recently what Microsoft PR did. I think it was yesterday. It popped up that they said, the Xbox One is the only place where you can play all of the top 10 selling games of 2015. But then there were several exceptions that it's like, well, only games that were released in 2015. If it was physical and digital, and there were just these several other caveats that the way they phrased it, it's like.
That they
it's
have in the
true
big
a
bold
way,
letters.
300
but
asterisks.
there's a lot of fine print there. So it's,
Marketing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
From there, we went on to Forza Horizons 3. They showed a 4-player drop-in, not drop-in, but invite them friends to do co-op and stuff, and that's dropping September 27th.
Very
Forza looks pretty.
so pretty.
So pretty.
It's pretty. I thought they were going to make more of a distinction since you had the 4 players, but not only that, they were on different setups. And I thought, they were going to make more of an attention grab to, this person's on a regular Xbox, this person's on an Xbox One S, this is on a 4K gaming PC, this person is on, just like a decent PC. And yeah, you could see the difference between the two high ends, or maybe that was, some streaming quality issues, but I almost thought they were going to draw some more attention to that, but, of course, focus on the software product.
Right. It's Forza. Forza Horizons. If you know Forza and Forza Horizons, you know what you're getting with that. That one's coming out September 27th.
Down in Aussie. Down under.
Down under, putting shrimp on the bobby. Recore, we got a release date for that, September 13th. They showed some of the Construct, your party members.
Yeah, more robots, which is a
Robots.
good thing. They had the one there for the longest time, and to see more options, yeah, it's a good thing.
It
Yeah.
looks really good, but I just after all this Mighty Number 9 stuff, I really can't put my faith into an Inafune project right now.
Do you trust the con man? That's the big thing.
Exactly, and I know he's not the only one. He only has a small part in this game, but his name's still on it, and that's the point.
Right. They were explaining that Inafune is the idea behind the world and the characters, and whereas Armature,
But he's
former
not
Metroid
really
Prime.
the director or anything
Exactly.
like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. Then Square Enix came out and showed a very frantic, short, little playable demo.
Terrible demo.
Trial of Titan. It was the first time they've shown Final Fantasy 15 on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So there is that. But just kind of a short, quick demo. They didn't really say anything. Square does have their active time battle that they're doing for Final Fantasy 15 at E3, so that's not surprising. I think they just wanted to show people, oh, it's still coming to Xbox One.
It wasn't a great demo to show, though. I'm it was impressive on scale. It was impressive on soundtrack. But as far as what was actually happening, like when they were missing
Right.
the dodges,
A lot
and
of
all that-
misses, and it wasn't performed well. It
And
wasn't
I
executed.
I couldn't tell what was going on. I don't know how he beat him. I have no idea.
Oh,
He froze his arm and then broke
bashed
it off.
like that, and that could have been so quick. But
Yeah.
I guess you're waiting for party members to arrive. That died very quickly soon after, so it was,
Right,
it
it
was
was-
unusual that way.
Needed more practice, I think. The player Brian, I think it was his name was, showed Division Underground, the trailer for the new Division expansion that's coming out June 28th.
Yeah, they got the marketing. That makes sense.
We got to see the Battlefield 1 trailer again
Yeah,
that we saw
I hope we get to see
yesterday
it a
at
fourth time.
EA.
Yeah.
I guess on Xbox One, if you have EA Origins Access or their thing, you can play it a week early.
Yeah, EA Access. Yep. So that's $5 a month normally, but I guess this month they are giving a free trial for those on Xbox One to just try different EA games in the vault for free. So it's almost like a Humble in a way, where it's like you're paying like a monthly sort of thing, but you have this big access to a backlog of EA games is essentially what it is.
Interesting. But yeah, Xbox One owners will have access to Battlefield 1 a week early. With that, they talked about some improvements coming to Xbox Live. Cortana is coming to Xbox One this summer. They're adding club features, which is kind of like a Miiverse, Sony's group kind of thing.
Sorry, I'm just making it. Woo.
Yeah,
I would say like, this is the
None
part.
of those
This is
seem
where the
like-
part of the conference where like the pacing was really good up until this point. You kind
Yeah.
of started to hit a lull here, and it's like,
And I mean, they had to say it eventually, and if they would have saved it till the end, that would have ruined the whole thing.
Of course.
Right. It was the lull in the middle of the conference because you went from the Xbox Live improvements where they've had some cool improvements before, but this one was nothing huge. They're doing more stuff with esports, their tournament platform called Arena. Looking for group function, which I can only imagine will turn into like a Craigslist for people looking for sex on Xbox Live.
Got to be heavily moderated. Absolutely.
Then, Minecraft again.
Stop bringing Minecraft to conferences. Stop.
Let it have Minecon. It has Minecon. Don't
It
bring
does
it to
have
E3.
It's Minecon, and nobody cares anymore. Like, I love Minecraft. I play it all the time. I go through little short bursts of it. I don't care. All right? I already know all the stuff about Minecraft as it gets announced on Twitter and stuff like that. That's where it belongs. Stop bringing it to conferences.
I'll disagree in a sense because I think it was unusual last year to show it on HoloLens with that being so far out. Like now the pre-orders, it's like a $3,000 pre-order for a dev kit. So it was strange to see that, last year, okay, guess we're showing the future maybe. But this one made sense this year because this is a big deal to have the cross-compatibility happen. Like I think just it didn't need as long of a segment. I'll agree with you there. But I think to make it a newsworthy point for as much as they paid for Minecraft, for the $2.5 billion, to have that be, it's one of the, I think, the key headlines for as big of a fan base as Minecraft has, to say that, you can play cross-compatible with all these other platforms. That's a big deal. But yeah, did we need to say the friendly update? Did we need to go blast
Do we
an
need
alien
John
spaceship?
Carmack wearing from Oculus wearing not Oculus?
That we did not.
It's
need.
so weird.
I agree. That we did not.
My thing was, I think it would have been fine just as a side interview or something at E3, not necessarily so prominent in Microsoft's E3 conference.
And like
So,
I agree, I get it. They bought it for so much money, they might as well use it. But I'm tired of seeing it at E3 conferences. It's been at almost every E3 conference in the past 3 years,
Yeah.
and not just Microsoft. It's been at other conferences too, and I'm sick of seeing Minecraft at E3.
That's true. If we're going to use the Microsoft paid money logic, we're not seeing LinkedIn at E3 when they bought it today for $26.2 billion.
Lots of money.
Whatever. That's way too
lots.
much.
They announced that you can design your own Xbox controller with Xbox Design Lab.
Yeah, I mean, little small thing, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen anything like that before. To have that be an officially sanctioned thing, granted $80 for the controller to
bit
begin with, $90 if you do the engraving. It's a steep price.
Oh, it is.
Certainly.
I mean, I think it's definitely steep. It's one of the more extravagant purchases. But I would kind of I'd make a Dashing Nerds
Yeah.
Xbox One controller. That could be kind
Yeah,
of cool.
for a point between the one that they sell for everyone and the Elite controller, to have that kind of be as an option in the middle,
Right.
like, give people choices, give gamers choices, and that's a nice touch.
Let's see. We Happy Few. That looked creepy. I want to see more of We Happy Few.
I'm very interested in it. It looks very Bioshock-esque.
Mhm.
And
Very Bioshock.
I'm hoping it doesn't go down the same road as Bioshock, where it just got kind of pretentious and preachy. But, I mean, I'm very interested
It's
in
very. I like the aesthetics of it. I like the creepy mask. I think it's going to be a very good atmospheric title.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I don't think they gave a release. Nope,
No.
July 26th
And
is
but
the
that's-
early
yeah,
access,
that's the
the
early
partners,
access.
Xbox partners.
And so interesting that they choose that route to go, and that's bundled with all the ID at Xbox, the
Right.
independent offerings. Maybe that's something to look into, but because that looked to be at a fairly progressed state
Right.
for it being so early, I guess.
And they didn't really do much showing the indie scene. Like, they had that quick sizzle reel, but we saw nothing of Cuphead again.
Yeah.
No release date for Cuphead or anything this year. We did see another short little trailer for Inside. That's coming June 29th.
Oh, very early, yeah.
But besides We Happy Few, that was the main indie title they really showed anything.
I
Yeah.
think it feels like the ones they showed in that sizzle reel were really ones that have their own presence online, where they have their own YouTube channels, where they've already put out all their stuff. So why show it at the conference? And it goes back to my Minecraft thing of, well, I mean, that's the same logic. Why would you show that but then not show Ukulele if you were going to put it in your sizzle reel?
I would have really liked to see a Cuphead release date, though. I
Yeah.
mean, I know IGN got the scoop on the platforming video, but to show that to be so such a fixture, I think is the last couple E3s for Microsoft, to just have that be now to lead a sizzle reel.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodstain from Castlevania creator was also in
Igarashi, yeah.
Igarashi. That was also in the sizzle reel, but very few actual. It was much more mainstream, not mainstream, but large publisher focused this year than last year, especially. After that, Gwent from CD Projekt Red. That's officially going to be its own standalone title. They had kind of hinted at that for quite some time, so not a huge surprise, but still good. It'll be interesting to see how it goes up against Elder Scrolls Legends. I think it'll blow it out of the water, honestly.
Yeah.
Tekken 7's coming to consoles early 2017, so that will be cool. And if you pre-order, right now on Xbox One, like for a week or something, you can get Tekken Tag Tournament 2 for free.
Yeah, the week or the month, something like that. Interesting for Tekken 7, like the box art I think is online for Amazon and all that. Like it does show Akuma and Heihachi on the box art. So it does almost come across like, is this your way to kind of cop out and say Tekken cross Street Fighter?
No, I believe they've already confirmed that it's not that. They just wanted to put Akuma in, honestly.
I know that's what they said, but like maybe they can backpedal when they don't
They
want
may,
to.
very-
say,
they
like,
very well could.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I don't know.
Dead Rising 4, having been leaked a couple days ago, was officially announced, starring Frank West, and that's coming holiday 2016 this year.
Looks like a Dead Rising game.
Yes, it looks very kind of funny and crazy.
They backed down from at least they listened. Capcom seems to have listened, and they backed down from the super serious, gritty, that 3 was that nobody wanted.
The interesting thing with that is I've been reading a couple things, and it's still early, so this may change, of course. But it seemed like during the conference they were saying coming to Xbox One and Windows 10, and not Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. Maybe the rumblings are that maybe Dead Rising 4 will become to PlayStation 4 as well.
Personally, I hope, but like
I mean, Dead Rising 2 did come to the PS3.
Dead Rising 2 was on the PS3. Dead Rising 3 though was still on
launched.
Xbox One.
That was Xbox
That
One
was
launch.
Xbox One
Yeah.
launch. I'm wondering if Capcom's like, we like you, Xbox, but at the same time,
It's not profitable for
it's
us.
It's not as profitable just releasing on
But
Xbox One.
how much of that would have been the Xbox One's fault as opposed to nobody wanted Dead Rising 3 because of its super...
I mean, that could be
rating.
also, and I also know that Capcom isn't doing super well right now financially. So, I mean, putting it on Xbox One only, that would rule out any market in Japan, basically.
Well, and they also have a pretty good relationship with Sony right now because of the Street Fighter
Right.
5 stuff.
They're aiming for 2 million in sales right now. They see Dead Rising 4 as a 2 million sales according to their financials. So like they're seeing it kind of around there, and I think you do need PlayStation 4 if you want to hit that.
Right. Showed more scale bounds. Showed some.
It was surprising.
Looks
I
like a
did
Platinum
not
game.
expect to see Scalebound here. Like after its really poor showing at last Gamescom, where performance was suffering greatly, to now say, well, here's a big boss and co-op, and it seemed to hold up pretty well. I was impressed.
It
But
did
yeah,
look fun. It kind of was a Platinum mixed with almost Monster Hunter-y, like
Yeah,
or like
little
Dark Souls kind of thing. The partnership and stuff. I mean, it looked fun. It is 2017. So, but yeah, I'll be interested to see more of it. Looks kind of. He still looks like Dante.
Looks exactly like
I'm calling him Nante for not Dante.
I was kind of digging the music when he put the headphones on. It's like,
Yeah,
okay. Like,
that had some
I
rising,
would get
rising
annoyed.
feeling
I
to
would
it.
get annoyed with that if that's how boss music happens. It zooms up on him, and like every time he's in a boss, puts on his headphones.
shout out to the player playing the demo, had the same kind of headphones.
Yeah,
man.
He's style and accessorizing.
You know
Kamiya
it.
didn't insult me even once. I feel ripped off.
I wanted to be blocked. I'm just saying, I wanted to be blocked.
Sea of Thieves, they showed some actual gameplay of Sea of Thieves from Rare. That looks fun. I mean, it definitely looks like one of those games where I want people to play with. Mm-hmm. A fun, play with friends game, not so much. Or I'm sure it would still be fun by yourself or with random people, but definitely seems...
So
I think that was the right way to show it. Like
Right.
authentic reactions,
Yeah.
not this fake stage
Yeah.
nonsense.
all I want to know is there more to it than just sailing around and walking around? Because that'll get old very fast. Even with friends, that'll get old after like a week. if
Well, I think
that's
it's
the whole
also
game.
like kind of an MMO, so there'll be quests and things to do.
Yeah,
Like they've said.
You know, when you say that, like, but what do you actually do in the game? That makes me think of No Man's
No
Sky.
Man's Sky.
Yeah.
exactly
yeah.
the same sentiment.
Yeah. I'm sure we will be talking much more about No Man's Sky later
Yeah,
with
probably.
Maybe.
with Sony. But State of Decay 2 was announced. No release date of that. Same with Sea of Thieves didn't have a release date for that. But State of Decay 2 was announced with a just a CG trailer.
Yeah, no gameplay.
Then an amazing CG trailer with Halo Wars 2. That was very, very pretty.
That was a
Which you got to do because the actual gameplay just doesn't look too impressive.
It's
of Halo Wars. I'm sorry.
it's
Strategy.
well, I mean, it's an RTS. So you can
Is it
only
right?
you can only make those look so. Even StarCraft doesn't look that interesting from
true.
when you're not playing. it.
True. Yeah.
And that's coming February 21st, and this entire week you can play a beta. So from June 13th to the 20th, you can download a beta for it. And then they open the conference with this new hardware announcement. They close their conference with a new hardware announcement with Project Scorpio. The 600 teraflop 4K.
Oh god, no, 6 teraflops. Let's be real. 6 teraflops.
6
Yeah,
teraflops.
6 teraflops.
VR 4K native, or not native, but 4K gaming console coming holiday of next year. We didn't see the actual console. They don't have a name for it. It's just Project Scorpio right now.
I
So
actually think they should keep Scorpio, personally, because that's a really cool name for a console.
A lot of consoles have cool code names, but they never stick.
Natal,
Uh,
Connect.
yeah, sure.
The Revolution.
Yeah, you want a revolution. No, honestly, it's funny you say that. I mean, speaking of Nintendo, Microsoft gets out there and starts the messaging. It's going to be interesting to see what Sony does because a few days ago they said we're not showing Neo at E3. The timing of that makes you think maybe something changed late in the game. Maybe they were unsure what Microsoft was going to do. So there's already some juggling there. But now that Microsoft has set saying we have this, high-end 6 teraflop console at the end of 2017, what does this do for Nintendo and NX? Because right now they're behind the 8 ball again. Their lack of messaging has kind of
Right.
put them in a corner where if they come out in September, whenever they show NX, and it's slightly more powerful than a PlayStation 4 is right now.
I mean, with the
you're in trouble.
PlayStation Neo and Scorpio now, it's like if they don't release a 4K, not that everyone has a 4K TV, but if they don't release a 4K compatible console with the NX, they will already be behind again.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that because for Neo, like Neo for PlayStation 4, I think it was around 1.5 teraflops. Even Neo was maybe 2.5, 3. So to say 6 raises the bar high, and I wonder almost maybe Sony goes back to the drawing board a little bit.
I'll be curious
to beef
how
the specs a bit more.
I'll be curious to the price
Yeah.
of Scorpio with
Because
that.
it can't. I saw people on Twitter saying it can't be $500 again. People were mad when it
$599
came
US
out. Like it can't be that again. They'll lose to Sony again.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it just when they were saying that it'll be all games will be compatible across all of the family. Well, to me, all that says is either you're going to give early adapters gimped versions of these games, or B, you're going to gimp all the other games because they need to be in parity with the first Xbox One.
Yeah, it's a staggering difference. If it's like 4 times as powerful,
And nobody wins in either of those scenarios. So,
I don't even know if the Xbox One Slim wins, because it's like,
well, yeah, now that
They
they've
announced
announced
it's
the
like-
Scorpio, like who's going to buy an Xbox Slim?
yeah, if you're starting right now,
I mean, if you're starting right now,
If you only have $300, yes, you'll buy an Xbox Slim. But
knowing that next holiday there's going to be a vastly improved, more powerful system coming out, that's like, do I want to?
well, and then the other alternative is what I'm personally considering right now is: do you just put money into beefing up your PC?
A PC.
Yeah.
If all the Microsoft first-party games are going to be Xbox Play Anywhere going forward, like give yourself a PC, and then you'll also grab some of the third-party games that come to PC. Maybe some PlayStation games will have also initiatives where they also play with PC. Like the PC Master Race and all that, they have to be feeling pretty proud right now. But that's all the the Windows 10 sort of initiative, the Project Helix of the fusion of the two, as it were.
to me, Scorpio and the Neo, to an extent, both kind of feel like bad moves, in my opinion. I don't think they're good ideas. It's way too early.
It feels too early, but at the same time, like this is different than I think.
I
anything in
think
the
with
past.
VR being introduced and 4K and everything, that's kind of pushing it. But
and the PC architecture, the similarity to all of that, like that
Yeah.
was never a thing in the past.
Exactly. I honestly think we could go on for another half hour, 45 minutes just on these updated
Probably,
consoles, and who knows, maybe we will. But final grades for Microsoft.
I'm gonna say A-. Like it was a solid conference. There were a couple things that it hit a few lull points, but when you're talking about delivering games, and yeah, sure, there weren't as many surprises. I mean, they had their full console and conference layout. They had that leaked. That's unusual for one. I mean, good job to Nerd Leaks there. But to have that happen and not have everything be too surprising, I guess that was something not too much in its favor. But as far as just consistently delivering goods, and you're talking hardware, and you're messaging it well, to be honest, on a public front-facing sort of feature, I'm going to say A-.
I'm actually going to say B-, mainly out of a personal preference. Overall, I think it was a pretty good conference compared to what we've seen so far, because while most of the stuff they showed didn't appeal to me, you could tell that it appealed to people, unlike EA, where everything they were showing, who the hell were you appealing to?
Right.
So, and I also liked how it was paced. There was game, hardware, game, just one after another. There wasn't even a transition between some of them, which was a little jarring sometimes.
Yes.
But I think it was not a bad conference, but I don't think it was a great one for me. So
I'm gonna have to go with you with the A-. I there was a lot there. They didn't spend aside from that kind of slouch, kind of slow period in the middle. I thought they were very on point. There was no crazy media. It was very games. It was very game centered. Some really cool games. There wasn't a huge like, oh my god, I can't believe they're announcing that moment.
Right.
But I'm interested to see more of Project Scorpio. I'm interested to see more of the Slim or the Xbox One S, how that really how that plays out with the announcement of the Scorpio.
It does come with a controller.
It does
Yeah,
come with a controller.
there was
It does come with a controller.
bunch of hubbub on Twitter that it didn't for a while for some reason.
But yeah, I think that'll do it. Up next is Ubisoft, and here in a few hours, so look forward to a reaction for